going to go. So there's a couple of people online, which is good. I did start this a little bit early, so let's give it a minute or so, see if we get people on. Oh, I nearly had an invader in the camera stream then because the wife was coming out. Is that? That's good. That's all good. Cheers, Chris. Thanks for giving that bit of feedback. I might just get started anyway and talk a little bit about me and the channel. So for those of you that don't know, obviously my name is Andy and I am the host of the Andycharger channel. So my channel covers mainly Audi TT Mark 1 content. I've also got some really old videos from years ago covering other hobbies. If you want to go and check those out, feel free, but they're not that interesting. So for the last 3 years, I have been an Audi TT Mark 1 owner, and I first picked up this lovely 225 Roadster from a little old couple. They were looking to sell it. They thought I was some sort of motor trader because I approached them with some great ideas what I wanted to do to the car, get it back to its absolute showroom condition. Still a work in progress, but I have done a lot of work on it, keeping both of these cars completely stock standard, not stepping away from that in any way, shape or form, to the point that I've even, the latest addition to the channel, I've replaced the wheels on it in the last few weeks. It came with a nasty set of, I think, Le Mans copy wheels. Not what I was after. I wanted the standard wheel, so I have put that back, and I will give you a walk around of both cars shortly. This car, the blue car that I've just mentioned, that is a 3.2 V6, and I am going to cover in one of my upcoming videos the differences between the two cars. From the untrained eye, they do look the same. Now, mine don't, obviously, because one's a Roadster, one's a coupe, so there is some differences. But if I had a 225 coupe here, to the untrained eye, you'd think, oh, they're the same car, particularly if they were the same colour. Some obvious things to point out, if you look at these, and I'm going to step out the picture for a second, is if you look at the grills, and I'm going to lift the camera for a second. So if you look at the grills on the front, they look definitely different. So my 225 bar grill and the 3.2 has a 3. You'll also notice it's got a much deeper scoop on the front compared to the 225. And it's also got these louvers at the side. If you can see at the side of the scoop there on the 3.2, and on the 225 there is nothing. Interestingly though, both of these cars, or mine, I'm going to straighten that up, both these cars have got the same size wheel. They're both running 18s, and I think they both started life both running 18s. I'm going to straighten you guys up there. All right, let's have a quick look at comments. Hi, Jules. Oh, you've got your 3-bar grill. That's good to hear. Now, does your 3-bar grill look just like this one? Be interested to know. Let me know what you think. So, Jules, I did take a look at your blind date video this morning, and it was making me chuckles. So, yeah, we've got celebrity in our midst. We've got ex-TV stars. I don't know where you count. Are you an A-lister or a Z-lister? Or somewhere in between? Don't know. You'd have to let us know. Who else have we got on? Oh, there's other people lurking. Oh, yeah. So that's good. So it's exactly the same style grill as that one. And inserts of the headlights. It's going to give my... It's absolutely chucking down here, so I'm getting soaked. If I just wipe both of these off. Like that. Now, you can see that both of mine have got the silver inserts. And I'm pretty sure that that is part of the facelift. I think they went from black inserts to silver. Might be wrong. Please do put that in the comments if I am wrong. But they've both got the silver inserts. And I think the crossover for the facelift was about 2002, 2003. So there are a range of cars, I believe, that they've got bits of the facelift, but not the same bits of the facelift. So I think the things like the headlight inserts and the grille are one part of that. There's the gear knob. So if you've got a manual car or stick shift, if you're in this in the States, you've got the gear knob. Now, the facelift model has like a chrome polished gear knob, and the older style has the leather. So this has, I think this is the older style grille. It's got the facelift lights and it's got the shiny gear stick. So it's a mix and match. I think you'll find there's a lot of cars around that time that are the same. What else shall I cover? Well, I'll probably cover the jobs that I've got lined up. Now, if you've been watching the channel recently, you'll know that I'm looking to replace the shocks on the blue car, because I won't put a picture up here because I can't. But if you go back and look at my recent video on the wheel refurbishment, towards the end of that, where I'm fitting the wheels on the car, I took a look in the wheel arch, and the strut, or what's left of the strut, the outer casing of the strut, it's completely gone. I say it looks like a bit like a ghost all hanging over the strut itself. There's all bits of rust and holes and everything. So my plan this weekend was to get those struts swapped out. Hasn't quite turned out like that with life, because as we all know, while this is still a hobby of mine, just doing these YouTubes, life and running the kids around, other things takes precedence, and obviously I haven't had time. But I do tend to work quite late at night in the cars, and most of my videos you probably notice are quite dark in the background, particularly the Audi TT meets TT ones when I'm doing the voiceover. It's always black in the windows in the background. That's because I'm nocturnal. I think I work mainly at night time. Anyway, so I probably will do that tonight. I'm going to set that self as a goal. Now, I'm going to give you the camera a quick spin round so you can see where I do a lot of my filming, sort of a behind-the-scenes Andycharger, which Chris knows as the bowling alley, because it's so this is where I do my filming in here, and it's got all the rubbish at the back of the garage, and then I've got a middle spot where the Roadster normally sits, and the outer spot here where the blue car sits. So I normally tend to set up by the fridge freezer over there and point out towards the door this way. Anyway, so that's a little sneak peek. So obviously when I'm doing the TT meets TT, I tend to film that in the kitchen. So yeah, so guys, what have you been up to this week? And let me know in the comments what you've been working on, because I'd be interested to know. I did post up a link about asking on Friday, I think, on Facebook what people were doing. And it was quite good to see a list of the things that people are working on. And it's interesting that we've all got, you know, cars in different states. A lot of the jobs pop up are the same that people are working on, but you'll normally find if you ask 10 people, what are you working on this weekend on a TT, they're all doing something different. And that's quite good. It's also quite worrying, because I think all of those 10 things that they're talking about, you will have to do on your own car at some point. I'm just going to take a look in the comments and see a lot of chat going on. Oh, I can see, oh, my nephew's just popped on. You think the garage is looking tidy? Yeah, you all know that normally the garage is rammed full of rubbish and junk. So the garage had to be cleared, Tate. Now Tate is a future mechanic, so he's doing a course at the moment, and he's actually working now for quite a large, I guess, a plant maintenance company. So he knows his way around the engine like you wouldn't believe. He's only 16, he's about to turn 17, so he'll be driving soon. And I think he likes the cars as much as I do. So I know that I've got a great mechanic in the family for the future who will be helping me. And I hope he's also got access to a ramp, so that will even be better. What else have we got going on? Oh, Chris, you finished the front brakes and you flushed them. Did the pipe collapse? Did the pipe stay up? I'm hoping the pipe stayed up. I'm pretty sure it would have done. Oh, see, Jules, you're talking about the shiny knob. Where's the battery? Oh, Jules, funny you mentioned the battery. I think I covered that in a little short video that I did yesterday. So, interesting. I put that out there because it's something when I bought the car and I looked over it, I probably didn't pay that much attention because my eyes were lighting up when I was at 3.2. And it was a day like today, actually. The car was, you've probably seen the video, actually. The car was completely wet and you couldn't see the paintwork and looked all nice and clean inside. I thought, yes, it's a nice car. But since I've sort of taken it away, a few things have sort of jumped at me that need doing on the car. So, okay, as I mentioned, the shocks and other bits and pieces. So, yeah, all good. But one of the things the reason I mentioned that was the battery. I hadn't noticed that because when you open the bonnet, and I will do that in a second, we'll look at both the cars underneath because just to give you a comparison, I'm going to do a video on that on comparing the two cars, like I said. So hopefully that will provide some interest for you all. But the battery on the 225 is at the front, as we know. We all know where the battery is, and it's got like a little triangular black plastic cover over it. So when I opened that and I saw that, I thought, oh yeah, the battery, I won't even look at that. Then I went to a few weeks ago, And I thought, oh, I'll just check the spare wheel. So I undid the mechanism to look at the spare wheel when I was going to change the wheels out. And there's nothing there. there's not even a wheel arch for a wheel. And I thought, oh, but there is a mechanism in there and some fluid, some foam. That so if you have a puncture, it's a bit like one of these cars. It hasn't even got a space saver because of the weight. Instead, you've got the fluid that you pump into the tyre. So if you have a puncture at the side of the road, you break down, you can fill the tyre full of the foam, carry on your journey. Now, to me, if that happens to me, I'm going to phone the wife. Not that she'll be able to come out, but if it happens to her and she has a problem, I say, don't put that foam in the tyre, because firstly, I don't know how long it's been in there. Probably doesn't even work anymore. And secondly, I don't really want to fill the tyre full of foam, because I think that would probably write the tyre off if it's only got a puncture. So, but it does make me a little bit nervous about driving any sort of distance. I think, oh, if there's a problem, what's going to happen? But while I was looking in there, I noticed next to it, there's a battery, and I thought, oh, it's got a second battery. Went to the front of the car, lifted up the flap, and there's no battery. So I figured, for the untrained of us out there, and obviously I'm quite new to all of this, that if I was looking to charge the battery with a flat battery, I went to the front and I saw, where's the battery? I would panic. So I put up that little short video just explaining where it is. I know, Jules, you sort of said, oh, everyone knows where it is, but no, they don't. I didn't know, and I own the car, so that's always a concern. What, who else we got on there? Oh, yeah, Chris, talking about the bowling alley. Say that, yeah? Yeah, the garage is, my plan is going to be that eventually this garage is going to be gone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put eventually, one day, going to put a big garage in the back garden where I can put all the cars in. So at the moment, we've got quite a small drive. So the learner car and the company car over there around the corner. Tucks out the way, but obviously it makes getting cars in and out quite difficult. Anyway, the cars we're worried about are these two here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the bonnet. So I've popped them both. I'm just going to give you a quick look inside to see if you can spot any obvious differences. So if I'm going to pop over, let's pop that one up. And this one. Okay. Now, probably from here, if I let them both in, not going to be a see a lot. So I'm going to try and carry the camera over a little bit. So I don't want to disrupt the feed, but I'm going to see if I go over. Take the laptop with me. Okay. So if we start with the 3.2, so there's that lovely 3.2 lump. You see, if you look at the black plastic, so you've got the black plastic you'd recognise from around the water bottle on 225. Obviously, it hasn't got the main engine cover because obviously the engine's different. But you do have this battery cover that we notice here. Now, you will notice that the airbox connection to what you class as the tip on the 225, obviously it hasn't got a tip because there's no turbo on this car. It interfaces quite different into the engine, so it's got that black tube. Obviously, the oil filler cap is in a different place because it's a different engine. Other bits and pieces are pretty much the same under here. If we look at the 225, obviously you've got the bottle cover there. Obviously, the engine's quite different on this one. So you've got your charge pipes going down there on the back of the engine, down to the tip under there. Obviously, mine is very standard, as you can see. Engine cover, the battery tray on this one. I was going to put the laptop down there for a sec. It has got two more cylinders. You're right, Chris. The engine is completely different, but there's the battery on this one. So there's the battery on this one. But if we go back across to here, without tripping over the wires, obviously there's a hole for the battery. So again, the makeup of the car is done to keep them as uniform as possible, I guess, with some subtle differences. I noticed the windscreen wipers are different as well, whether that's it's got wind deflectors or on the blue one to keep them pinned down. And Chris will always point out to me that I leave the car in a sorry state when we do pictures, because I normally leave the windscreen wipers up on the blue car. And he always tells me off saying, oh, I can't take a picture of the car like that. Anyway, so that's down like that. So yeah, so I've got some bits coming up. So for those of you that are TT owners, I am looking to do Spring Fest in the summer. So that's going to happen on the 24th of July. So if you're interested in coming along, I've probably got space in the back garden for, I reckon, between 30 and 50 cars. So if you would like an invite to that event, we've already got quite a bit of interest already. It's going to be free to attend, obviously. So But if you are in the local area, so I'm based in Kent, so if you are based in the UK and you'd like to come along, it is going to be RSVP only, so I know exactly who's coming and what numbers I've got. But please do drop me an email at Andy_Charger@hotmail.com if you would like to attend. There's details of my email address and details about Springfest on the channel. So if you want to check out my channel description, you'll find out more about that. Anything else in the chat? What are people talking about? Oh, Jules, I hadn't noticed you're a comedian. I didn't notice that. Chris and I, we haven't set it up yet, but we noticed that on the Facebook group, there's lots of Audi TT Facebook groups, and there's a help group even on there for like tips and tricks. And we figured we want to put something together that probably joins all of these videos together, because obviously there's me doing videos, there's Chris doing videos, there's Dom doing videos, Bryn does videos. Ben Griffiths has just done a great video on unblocking his drains on his car as well. So that's definitely worth checking out if you've got a Roadster. It's something that he asked me to do, and I just haven't had a chance to do, Ben. So I apologise, but your video is cracking anyway. But there's all these videos that are floating around on YouTube from different content creators, but there isn't like a central place for them. So we figured that if you've got like one-off video or something that you've done on your phone or whatever, or you've got some videos you want to add, we thought we'd start a Facebook how-to videos group. So we're starting that at the moment. It'll be popping up in the next few days. So we will share details on that shortly. Oh, I'm breaking up. Like you on Blind Date with that girl. I need to speak to you and find out what actually happened with that girl. Anyway. Am I still coming through clear? Let me know. Do you know what I might do? I might just lift the laptop up and move it closer to the house, because it might be a Wi-Fi problem. How's that? Can you still hear me, guys? Let me know if you can. Still breaking up. Still breaking up, yeah? It's not good. Oh, yeah, fine, mate. Yeah, I'm all good again, yeah? Okay, good. Okay, so if you've got any questions about either of these two cars that you want to fire over, please do, and I'm happy to answer them. Tate, if you've got any questions about the car, as in the future this will be your project to work on, I'm sure. Let's have a look. It's really hard work trying to keep track of the chat, and obviously with the cars in the background. I'll probably talk about a few of the jobs I've done actually. So on the 225, so I lost the drive shaft of the 225, or rather than the drive shaft, I lost the CV boot over the top. That was my first video I did on the channel. Was I was looking on YouTube trying to find how to replace that, because I didn't want to pay the garage up £400 to do like sticking a rubber boot over the top of a joint. Couldn't find one, so I sort of pieced it together myself. Not that it was actually aimed at people like me that are just sitting home in the garage with a few tools. So I set about it myself, and I did that. And touch wood, if I can find some wood to touch, I haven't had a problem with that since. I've done a few other jobs as well. I've changed the oil. Other jobs I've done, I had to replace the roof, so the window is coming away in the corners, which happens to a lot of the Roadsters. Now I did a little bit of an ingenious hack to try and solve that. I got some actual sealant and some sucker cups and strung up to the roof of the garage to put the hood under pressure and the glass under pressure, and it did work. It stuck the hood brilliantly. Unfortunately, I left the padding that I'd used to pad the hood out from the side in the recess where the hood goes. Wife took the car to work the next day and came back and said, oh, there was a bang in the back of the car when I was driving along. I said, oh, okay. I went out and there's literally glass everywhere. So it actually smashed the back window when she put the hood down. Had nowhere to go, it just smashed. So I sourced a new hood. So not only have I covered how to replace and stick the glass, I've also covered how to replace the hood. And that's quite a fiddly job getting it off. And it's really heavy as well. So I would recommend doing it with two of you. Obviously, I'm big and strong, so I did it myself and struggled, paid the price for it afterwards. So I would definitely recommend getting a second person to help you do that if you want to change out the hood. Also changed the secondary water pump in the car as well, which is just literally down there, which is keeping the turbo cool, I think. It's quite an easy job, and it's got 2 bolts. And if you've watched that, there's a guy in the States that does maintenance videos on different cars, and I think he was charging hundreds of dollars to do that job, and you don't need to. It's literally, the pump itself was about £30, and it's 2 bolts. It's a 5-minute job. But again, I cover that in the video because my videos are there for those of us that don't really know what we're doing. We've got an Audi and we are trying to find our way with it. I also cover it in my videos, the TT Meets TT series. If you've not checked that out, please check that out on my channel. And that covers people from around the world, actually, that own a TT. And they share their stories with me. I either meet them and we review the car. There's some really good ones from an artistic perspective, some good ones from a performance perspective, and just some really good background stories. So we've done one recently on a car that's about to drive to Istanbul, 5,000-mile journey and back to Istanbul in the TT. Not something I fancy doing, really, because it's I don't think my back could take it. But yes, that's something we're doing. Obviously, you can always follow the channel at youtube.com/Andycharger. Pick up yourself a nice hoodie or t-shirt if you want one, which I do have available. Details to follow. And yeah, so that is my 2 cars. So I think I'm going to end the stream now because we've proved we can do it. I am looking forward to July when we do this for real and we have a tour of all the cars in the back garden. I better sort out the Wi-Fi for that and get a better camera. Obviously, I've got a GoFundMe page going at the moment where I'm trying to get funds together to buy a new camera. So if you can spare a couple of pounds, please do visit that and put it on there. That'd be most appreciated. Next weekend, I'm going to go to Hemel Hempstead to the TT breakfast meet. So if you're around next weekend and you're around Hemel Hempstead, please do go there. I will be attending it. I know that Dom has arranged that. And if you've not seen Dom, which I'm sure you've all seen Dom, because he's like one of the gurus on YouTube for Audi TT Mark 1. Great guy as well. He's hosting that next weekend. I'll be going to that. I'll be there for about an hour, so 9:30 to 10:30, because I've got to get away because I'm going to watch the football in the afternoon. So I will be there. I think, Chris, I think you're going to be there as well. So we'll both be there to talk about our upcoming shenanigans that we've got going on. I think we've got some good plans coming up, me and Chris, this year. So please do keep your eyes on both our channels. And yeah, thanks for watching on this dreary Sunday afternoon. I hope it's given you a bit of something to watch while you while away the hours. And check out the videos coming this week. Look after yourselves and speak soon. Take care.